Greeting music lovers. I want to welcome you back to the Jedi Temple. It's been a while since I've been able to make a video. I've had some really bad health issues here as of late. I've got diabetes, and it's a real struggle, people. It's something that you definitely don't want to play around with. I've been having all kinds of trouble. I've had a diabetic foot ulcer that I've been trying to get healed up for 3 months, and had to have surgery on my eye, almost lost one of my eyes. And so I've been like, I can see! I can see! You know what I mean? So anyway, I figured it'd be a good time to get back into the game. A special episode of Tunes from the Temple tonight, and I'm going to do the summer vinyl tag. It's been pretty cool. I've been watching it. Of course, you know, huge fan of Dillon's, customer of his. I've been buying a lot of his reissue stuff, really good quality stuff, and you know, I've been a Whatnot customer of his from the get-go. And he's been to a couple of my shows on Whatnot as well. So shout out to Dillon. Thank you very, very much. Well, let's go ahead and get this thing started. It's going to be kind of a long video, so let's get to it. So an album or a song with summer in the name. So I'm going to start out with one of my top two bands, you know, Pink Floyd, The Doors, definitely top two. So I want to show this one. This is The Doors' No Limits, No Laws. This is a 85 bootleg. The cool thing about this one, it has two summer songs on it. So it has Summertime, which is like an 8-minute instrumental, and then Summer's Almost Gone, that was recorded live at the Matrix in San Francisco on March 1967. You know, really cool album cover. You know, there's a cool cover of Jim on the front of there. So I really dig that one. That's pretty cool. Latest heavy pull. So I've really been getting my psych collection back up and going, trying to do you know, older, better. You know, I got rid of a ton of records. I sold about 600 records out of my collection. Really focusing more on stuff that I want to listen to and stuff that's premium quality. So my latest heavy pull was I picked up, this is an original 1968 peanut butter, no, this is 69, it's 1969 Peanut Butter Conspiracy for children of all ages. This thing is mint, still in the shrink, still has the $1.33 price tag on it. I mean, this thing, it's super, super cool. I've never seen a record as old as me, 55 frickin' years old, and this thing looks like it just came off the shelf. I want to crack it open and listen to it at some point, but right now I'm just kind of keeping my eye on the prize. So let's see, Whack-A-Mole album. Hang on, let me just grab something here real quick off of the, let's see, just around. Okay. Well, couldn't be much better. Peter Tosh, Legalize It. What more can I say about this? You know, classic reggae, classic weed smokers, you know, grail must have in your reggae collection. In fact, this particular album, I've had this a couple of times on and off over the years, and this particular copy, I got this at Josie Records in Kansas City, Missouri. Really, really great shape. I got a great deal on this record. I think I paid like $18 for this thing. It's a first press, sounds amazing. And I actually bought this the day that medical marijuana was legalized in Missouri. I'm from Kansas City. I live in Blue Springs. And bought this record, got my medical card a week later, and went and bought my first batch of legal bud and came home and smoked it and listened to this record. Just absolutely great find and a good whack-a-mole. Okay, an album cover with an animal on it. So this is a really good old psych, folk, prog type band. I'd say they're more folky, psychedelic rock. Moby Grape. I just absolutely love this record. It's got the white whale on it. I mean, very, very classic. Good sounding record. It's got a lot of really, really good songs on it. And I got this record really good shape, first press, $8. I've had it for a while, but this has been in my collection for a minute and I really love it. So next up we have an album with a great story. Well, I've got a really, really good story for this record. So Screamin' Jay Hawkins, one of my favorite performers, you know, started back out in the 50s. If you guys don't know who Screamin' Jay Hawkins is, you're missing out. This guy is the original guy that wrote I Put a Spell on You. You know what I mean? He's done a lot of music, and his show, he comes out on stage in a coffin, and they open him up, and he gets out and he's got his capes, and you can see the little dude here, the cane right here. It's called Henry. That's his little buddy, and he always goes on stage and performs with Henry, his voodoo cane. And I saw him in Kansas City at the Grand Emporium. It was 1985 with my good buddy Rich, and we went down. And I was still making tie-dyes back then. It was actually first started making them, so like, you know, these are a lot better than what I used to make back then. But anyway, I had a tie-dye on. My buddy Rich had a tie-dye on that we both made. We were right in the front of the stage, real small venue, but great place to go hang. Good cheap drinks and just good people, man. And so anyway, we went up there. He starts singing his song, I Put a Spell on You, and he's looking and he's pointing at me, and he goes like this, and he liked my shirt, you know? And I'm just like, holy shit, Screamin' Jay is looking at me and putting a spell on me. What a, you know, pivotal moment for me as a Screamin' Jay fan to have that happen. So after that set, we got invited to go backstage and hang out with him. And he had some albums and stuff for sale. I didn't get it at that time, but he gave me a cassette tape. I don't have it. It's packed away in some boxes somewhere. But it was a cassette of his album, and he autographed it for me. My nickname used to be Chunky, so it still is to those of you who don't even know what my real name is after 35 years. But anyway, it says, you know, best wishes, Chunky. I can't remember what he said. He said, best wishes, Chunky. Oh, great shirt, man. And, you know, Screamin' Jay. And he just put Screamin' Jay on it, and really cool. But listen to his stuff. You guys will like it. This is on Midnight. Really, really fun. This is kind of a compilation record. Him and his band, the Fuzz Tones, live. So a record that you wouldn't think I would have in my collection. So, you know me, I'm heavy into Crautrock, I'm heavy into heavy rock, I'm heavy into psych rock. but you wouldn't think that I would be sporting a bunch of Madonna. But I grew up with Madonna. She was a material girl in a material world, baby, and we used to rock out with her in the car and everything. And this is a really cool 2016 12-inch limited edition on hot pink vinyl, Like a Virgin. This is a Record Store Day limited album, and yeah, I'm a big Madonna fan, believe it. Cheap Heat. A lot of good records you can pick up, man, if you just, if you're just looking for good quality musicians that play good stuff. Probably my best cheap heat in my record store is, for the money, Herb Alpert, Rise. This is a phenomenal album. I used to play trumpet back in high school, and I love listening to Herb. Even from Tijuana Brass days, listening to him on my grandpa's record player. And this album is just, the song Rotation is awesome, and Rise is awesome. And this is a good, solid, through and through record. For, you can pick these up for $5-6. This one I got for $9, and it's in the shrink with the hype sticker, damn near mint shape. I highly recommend, if you see a copy of this, to pick it up. It's well worth a listen. 45 or an alternative media. I've never been a huge 45 fan ever since I've been a child. That was all I could have when I was a kid. My grandmother, my first record I ever had was Glenn Campbell's Rhinestone Cowboy 45 that I got on, let's see, we got it at Kmart. My grandmother bought it for me at Kmart, and I took it home and listened to it on her record player, and then took it home and listened to mine. But over the years, I don't have much time for 45s. I'm more of an LP guy. But I do have a really great alternative format. So I've got this reel-to-reel, the Beatles Rubber Soul. This sounds absolutely amazing. This is in Capitol. It's an Apex release. This is the 7.5 inch per second, 7-inch, 4-track, and this thing sounds awesome, man. The cover on this is beat up a little bit. I've had this for a while, but man, hook this thing up on my reel-to-reel and play it on my vintage system with my Sansui G8000 on my Infinity Quantum 3s. Oh my God, I've got a Dillon DL 110 high output moving coil on a Pioneer HPL 518, and I've got this is a Hitachi reel-to-reel player, 4-track that I play this on. So it's a really good system, but man, this thing sounds amazing. It sounds better than any vinyl Beatle records that I have or have ever had. I got this thing for next to nothing, and these things, this is a reissue from 1970, and I've actually turned down an offer from a buddy of mine who's really heavy into reel-to-reel, offered me $200 for this, and I just won't give it up because the sound of a reel-to-reel, especially on a vintage system, is just, it's just butter, straight up butter. So okay, favorite music documentary or biopic? Well, I told you I was a Doors fan. I love the Doors. There's a documentary movie called When You're Strange, a movie about the Doors. It's really good, man. It's narrated by Johnny Depp, and just goes through, starting out with you know, Jim's film of him, you know, getting out of a crashed car and hitchhiking on the highway, and a lot of his film, you know, class stuff, and you know, pictures from, you know, the late '60s and the civil rights movements in Vietnam, and just everything about how the world around them was just kind of forming them into who they were. And Jim was really coming into his poetry and just gave a lot of in-depth, you know, video and stuff of him and the band, and you know, their escapades, and I just highly recommend it. It's probably my favorite. Okay, so let's see. Box set. Well, you know, I'm a huge Crautrock fan. Not too long ago, I just picked up this Noi box set. Got this from Germany. It's a UK press. It's got Noi. It's got Noi 2, Noi 75, Noi 86, and then like non-publicized live set from '72 that has got like 3 untitled tracks on it. Noi, if you've never checked them out, they are just man, just real jammy. You know what I mean? Guitar and drums and organ, and just music that just transcends, and just, you know, not a lot of vocals at all, and just, you know, kind of like a German Grateful Dead on stage, if you would, just the way they jam and just jive together. But this Noi box set is really great. I love it. Okay. So let's move on to most trash record in your collection. Well, so I told you I got rid of about 600 records. Yeah, I've gotten down to the point where it's like, you know, I've had so many records, I've bought and sold so many records, I've started from scratch so many times, that now it's just like I'm buying music that means something to me, records that I've played 10, 15, 100 times, and it's all about quality over quantity, man. You know, I've got a massive Hifi system. You know, you can see my machine back here, my Darth Vader. You know, I got a lot of money sitting there, and this thing is tuned and sounds absolutely amazing. You know, is it like the ultimate, you know, audiophile system? No, but to me it is. I mean, I've worked my entire life to put together something that sounds that good. So I don't want a lot of crappy records at all in my collection anymore. But if I had to pick one, it would be this Armageddon. This is some really good, you know, hard '70s rock, progressive rock maybe. This was an A&M release from 1975. You know, the record is still VG, but, you know, with the little tears and just the ring wear and stuff on the cover, I would say this is my most trashed record that I have. Okay, number 13, An Album from a Faraway Land. Okay, so I got this record from a band called String Cheese. Let's see, wait a minute. No, I'm missing one, I'm sorry. Still don't quite have the eye working that great, man. I had to have a vitrectomy on this eye, and I've still got a little bit of blood particles floating around in it and stuff, and it's been a miracle that I can even see at this point right now. So forgot number 12, a local album. Probably forgot it because I don't actually have one on vinyl. I mean, there really wasn't a lot of great bands that came from the Kansas City area, especially Jackson County, Missouri, where I'm from. I do have a CD of a really great blues band that's called Trampled Underfoot. I've seen them many times as Danielle and her brothers Nick and Chris Schneebelen. Yeah, Schneebelen. But the trio is awesome. In fact, Danielle has kind of changed her name to Danielle Nicole, and she has a solo album or two out there that you can listen to. But man, I've seen these guys at like BB's Lawn Sign Barbecue down on 85th and Prospect, sitting there eating some ribs and some battered French fries and some beans, listening to them jam, and her vocals are amazing, man. And I've seen them here in Blue Springs, Missouri at a bar that used to be here called the Trouser Mouse. And that was great people that owned that, and they had a really good stage and brought a lot of music in. And Trampled Underfoot was probably the best musicians, best local band that if they had put out records, I would have bought one, but I've got a CD in my truck. So anyway, so now for 13, an album from far away. So this is a band called String Cheese. From New Zealand, and this is a wooden nickel press that's actually an Australian press. So like New Zealand is like 8,400 miles or something from Kansas City, and Australia is like 9,700. So this is my farthest away band and the farthest away album that it came from. A long way, but String Cheese is, you know, a good, you know, good band to listen to, and it's more psychedelic rock, more that sound, you know, fuzzy guitars and you know, real heavy drums and bass that just blow your mind. So give them a check, String Cheese. Okay, so next we have a soundtrack. So I know what you're thinking. I'm the Hifi Jedi. It has to be Star Wars or one of the Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi, which I've got all of my 3 originals. They're all in perfect shape, they sound good. But to me, my favorite soundtrack that takes me back to the movie, that's just cool to listen to, is War Games. Matthew Broderick, you know, Danny Coleman, you know, the movie about the Womp, you know, computers taking over the nuclear arsenal. You know, if you're too young to have ever seen this movie, you got to watch it. It's really good. Back when computers were first really mainstreaming, and this just has excerpts from the movie. And if you've ever seen it, ever enjoyed it, listen to this thing. It is amazing. My favorite soundtrack to listen to. All right, my highest recommendation, the best sounding record in my collection by far. It's a live recording. Took me forever to find this record. I finally found a mint copy of it. Got it from a buddy of mine in Lawrence. Used to own a place called, his name's Will O'Rourke, and he owned a place called Orange Cat Records, and really cool dude. Went out of his way to find this for me, but this is Queen live at Wembley, 1986 concert, the best Queen live recording period as far as I'm concerned, and this is a really, really cool record. Gatefold from England. Just huge soundstage. Freddie just he just comes right out off of the speakers and just sits right in front of you and wails. I couldn't be happier with the sound of this record. And these are hard to find. This is the 92 UK press, and I got this mint. And I'll put a link down in the comments, and let you guys see another video that I made of when I got this and opened it up and listened to it for the first time. So you can check that out if you want. Well, highest on your want list. I'd have to say the record that I've been searching for the hardest to kind of complete a collection that I have. I love the German band Amandul. And I've been looking for their second record, which is Paradise Vertis Duel, 1971 on Ohr, the Ohr label, which is pretty popular Crautrock record label, which is German for ear, but it's just phenomenal, experimental, eargasmic record. I had a copy at one time that just was not in the best of shape, and I had somebody offer me a ridiculous price for it, and I had to let it go. But I've been on a look for a really good, clean, original Ohr label Amandul. Okay, a channel shout out. I'd say lately, and you know, of course, Dillon. Love you, bro. Love what you're doing. I'm happy for you. You're doing some really good stuff, and I always watch your videos every week. You know, Mike at the End Groove, amazing stuff. Watch your stuff all the time. Bought a lot of stuff from you online and on your Whatnot auctions. But you know, those are big hitters here in the U.S. My favorite channel right now that I would like to recommend is from a guy named Jonas with Sublime Media, and he is
yeah, for sure, from Sweden.
So anyway, but I love his channel. The music is great. He's really into krautrock and stuff, so he's introduced me to a lot of records that I love, that I have in my collection, that I've sought out. I've tried to buy some stuff from him, but he's pointed me in the right direction to get me some really quality krautrock records, and I appreciate what he does, and just the cinematography and the graphics and the audio and everything about his channel is fluid and enjoyable to watch. So Sublime Media, give Jonas a follow and check him out. Really good guy, great topics, and you know, I can't say more about him. Okay, silver lining in vinyl. For me, I'd have to say, you know, I've been doing this for so long, and I've gotten to the point where I can keep my collection small and listenable. You know what I mean? Like, I've been talking about some of the stuff that I collect and everything. You know, I mean, I'm looking for those minty records, you know, and I'm paying the price for it, man. You know what I mean? But I'd rather spend $200, $300 on one really sweet original press of something that I want, or a band that I'm trying to collect, you know, like a Can, or an Amandul, or Agitation Free, or something like that, you know, that I really want to listen to, or even like some of the, you know, the acoustic sounds, UHQR stuff, and the one steps, and you know, the audiophile quality music. You know, when you actually have a stereo that you can hear the difference in the quality, I'd much rather have that stuff. And with people you know, giving out suggestions to really good quality records and quality pressings and places you can get them and stuff that sounds good. And then also having the ability to stream. You know, I mean, you know, I come from the era that if you didn't hear it on the radio, you didn't know what it was about, you know, and we bought records in the 70s all the time for a song that we heard on the radio, and we were lucky to get an album that was good through and through. You know, you might have 2 songs off of an album that you bought that you like, and the rest of it you thought it was crap. So, you know, having that ability to actually showcase and listen to some music before you spend the money on it, especially when you're going to buy near mint stuff, that's my silver lining in the music industry now is being able to preview and just, you know, being a part of this vinyl community is special, you know. Everybody has their own likes and wants and whatever, but we all have that feel and that connection to our music. And the thrill of the hunt, you know, drives us to find better music and to share things with people, you know, that might be looking for them. Okay, so steal of a deal. Well, my steal of a deal is this 1972. This is Kraftwerk. This is their first like compilation album. Basically, what this is. This is a UK press, 72. This is the Vertigo label, but this has the rare like spaceship, you know, labels on it. It doesn't have the trippy Vortex Vertigo on the records. But this is basically Kraftwerk 1 and Kraftwerk 2, their first albums, all in one. And this thing sounds amazing. I bought this at, believe it or not, a little antique mall down in Warsaw, Missouri. I was down there with visiting my sister and my brother-in-law, Michael Howard, and he's like, dude, there's this antique mall that's got tons of records up there. Let's go, because he knows I always like to shop for records. And we went up there, and lo and behold, I found a couple other really good records that I had been looking for, Screamin' Jay and a couple of other ones, and but this was in a $5 bin, and I think the only reason it was in a $5 bin was because it had 2 records in it. There was a lot of $1 and $2 records, but I picked that bad boy up for $5 in Warsaw, Missouri, which is a little Lake of the Ozarks, you know, little, you know, fishing lake community, country community farms and that kind of stuff, you know. And hell of a great find, best money ever spent, because you can't even touch one of these now for probably less than $100 in this kind of shape. And last but not least, a promo. So I've been looking for a copy of this for a while. This is October Country. This is you know, pop psych band, really good. This is a white label promo, 1968. And this sumbitch is just so minty, you know. It's super, super clean, white label promo. The only thing, this is perfect except for there's like a little baby micro ding on that corner right there, just a tiny, tiny little bit, man. But this thing looks like it came right off of the shelf, you know, and it's the, you know, the not for sale promo. I got that a little too bright, but you can see it right there. And so anyway, I was out shopping with a buddy of mine. I went to Iowa with a buddy of mine, Stan Willis, who's like a national rifleman, match shooter, and he was going to a state match up in Illinois, Monroe, Illinois. And the first time I ever got to watch him shoot. Really interesting and just super cool. And he is, I mean, you know, he'll knock the eye out of a bird flying. You know, he's that good. and it was fun experience. But he knows every time we go out of town, once a year when he's in town from Vegas, we go record shopping, and went to this little place called Ragged Records in Davenport, Iowa, and met a really cool guy that owned that place, and had this promo. And man, it's the it's an Epic label, and the promo is mono. So this is a mono pressing, and only the white label promos, the promos were the only ones that were pressed in mono. All of the actual release pressings are stereo copies. So this is really rare. I paid a really premium price for this thing, but I mean, you just don't find a record like this in this kind of condition, especially a white label promo. So, you know, Soren, I know you got your July. Well, I got my promo too, and I feel your excitement, and I'm happy, man. You know, I've got a copy of July, and I love it. But I do love this psych pop record, and it's pretty sweet. But anyway, so that's it. Thank you guys for coming. You know, I know it's been a while. You know, I've been on disability at work for months. I haven't worked since May 5th because of my foot and my eye and everything that I'm having problems with. But I'm on the mends. Things are back. I got a little bit of time before I got to go back to work. So I'm going to get some fishing done and get into some records and start making some more videos. But anyway, leave some comments, you know, share, like, all that crap. I don't have to tell you what to do to help me out with the channel. I really appreciate your time. But anyway, until next time, cue it, drop it, and crank it. Peace.